Namo Buddhaya. Homage to the Supreme Buddha. So we can start our program today by going for refuge to the Triple Gem and observing precepts. You can say with me, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu. Our respectful homage to our venerable teacher Bhante, most venerable Pinnath Loku Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. So we are here to talk about many things about our supremely enlightened Buddha today as well, based on the recently published book by our Pinnath Loku Swamin Wahanse, Acharya Manuso. We learned many things about our Supreme Buddha and about Mahabodhisattva, the Buddha to be. And also, we talked in our last episode about the marvelous birth of our Prince Siddhartha, our Mahabodhisattva, was born in this human world, coming from the Tusita heaven. And then that was a marvelous and incredible incident happened in the planet Earth for the happiness of devas, for the happiness of human beings. And then if you remember the birthplace of our Prince Siddhartha, that was
Lumbini Sal Park.
yeah, the royal Sal Park called Lumbini. Sal is the beautiful the flower. And then here also, today we have something very interesting to talk about. We will start from a beautiful Jataka story. So you know that our supremely enlightened Buddha, the Buddha was born as Mahabodhisattva, as Prince Siddhartha. When he was coming through this, the dangerous samsara, he collected lots of good merit, uh, fulfilling the 10% perfections, and he developed wholesome qualities. And then with one idea, he came from a very long journey. And for it was uncountable times he was born to do many meritorious actions in the past. While he was coming, actually, he had enemies as well. He had some people who did not like the journey, who did not like the wholesome qualities. If you remember one person, he is called Devadatta. Devadatta was not a good person as long as he is born with the Mahabodhisattva in the samsara. He did not do anything good to Mahabodhisattva. He did not like Mahabodhisattva. He did many bad things to our Mahabodhisattva to defeat him. And then that was a very bad incident. We hear from the Dhamma, we hear from the dispensation. And then while our Mahabodhisattva was coming collecting good things, good merits in the samsara. He also was born in many, many times. He was born as a, as a human, sometimes as an animal, did not do any good. And then the the natural law of this world is amazing. So when our Mahabodhisattva was born here in the human world as Prince Siddhartha, he also was born in the human world as a prince, actually, in the same clan, Sakyans, and then it was a very close relative. He was very he was a very close relative of Prince Siddhartha. He was born to a same lineage in that time of our Prince Siddhartha, Mahabodhisattva. And then this bad reaction of Devadatta started from this story. I think that you have heard, you have learned about this story, how he started his revenge, how Devadatta, how he started his anger and the hatred towards our Mahabodhisattva. If you remember the name of this Jataka story, someone else for me?
Also, Swaminathan Kadavalalu Jataka.
Yeah, that was Kadavalalu. That was Kadavalalu, but the name is Kadavalalu is Bengal, right? And then the name of that story is this. Remember? Seri, Vanija means the seller or the dealer. Okay, we will read, and I need someone else to read the first part of the story. Maybe it goes to Hiru.
Am I Swaminathan? Once upon a time, 5 eons ago, in the kingdom of Seri, the Mahabodhisattva sold pots and pans and was called the Serivan. In another company, there was a dealer sold the same goods. He was a greedy fellow who was known as the Serivan. He too came across the river and entered the city. He started selling his goods round the streets of his district, while the other did the same in his district.
Okay, you learned about it. Okay, so there were two dealers, if you remember. They sold the
Yes,
same goods,
there were
pots
two
and pans,
dealers.
maybe sometimes the ornaments or something, and then
Yes.
they went to a same city to sell the goods. And then the second part of the story is for maybe two. Yes, Senile.
Am I Bante? Now in Now in that city there was a decayed family. Once they had been rich merchants, but by the time of our story, they had lost all the sons and brothers and all their wealth. There lived a girl and her grandmother, and they got their living by working for others. However, they had in their house the golden bowl that the great merchant, the head of the family, used to eat, but it had been thrown among the old pots and pans that looked old and
Many merits for reading. So this is the incident our Mahabodhisattva and the Devadatta in the Sansara, they met 5 years ago. And then this connection, this relationship was not healthy. This relationship was not good, and then was not wholesome all the time. And then all the time Mahabodhisattva developed wholesome qualities, and that guy was not a good person to do any good. So they were selling the same goods in the same city, and then they went to a certain city, and then okay, and then that was a poor family, but now they are poor, but they were rich before, and they had a golden plate. You know, the plate is used for eating, and the gentleman used that plate for eating his meal. And then they did not that was gold. We'll see the next part, and then that goes to I will see, maybe to Anuj. Yes.
Bunty. Bunty. The two women did not know that it was gold. To the door of the house came the greedy dealer on his rounds, crying, water pots to sell, water pots to sell. When the daughter knew he was there, she said to her grandmother, "Oh, please buy me a Bengal, grandmother." "Oh, we're very poor, honey. What can we offer for it?" "Why, here's this bone, which is no good to us. Let us change that for the Bengal."
Okay, very good reading. So what was happening in the house?
Thank you,
Salsa.
Bante.
Okay. And then they did not know that was gold. And then that girl was crying for a bangle. And then we'll see what happens next. And then this goes to, I will check it out. Okay, Subodha.
The old woman asked the dealer to come in and gave him the bowl, saying, "Take this, sir, and be so good as to give your sister something or other in exchange." The man took the bowl in his hand and turned it over. He knew it was real gold. Then, thinking to get the plate, giving nothing to the woman, he cried, "What's the value of this? It is not worth half a penny." And he threw the bowl on the ground, rose up from his seat, and left the house.
Okay, thank you for reading. So that was not a good thing. And then he was pretending, and he was cheating the family. He did not give money for the golden plate, and he wanted to take that plate without giving anything, right? And then he was pretending that it was not gold. And then that poor family, he was Devadatta. Maybe the first time he met our Mahabodhisattva. And then this part goes to Prabodha from Winnipeg. And then this is the slide.
The Bodhisattva came into that same street and appeared at the door of the house, crying, "Water pots to sell, water pots to sell." Once again the daughter asked her grandmother, and the old woman replied, "My dear, the first dealer threw our bowl on the ground to laugh. What have we got left to offer now?"
Okay, many minutes for reading. So if we have time, maybe we can act this out. Maybe we can act this plot out as a small drama. Okay, and then so the Mahabodhisattva was in a company, and then he was selling the same thing and came to this. So that the you remember that Devadatta left the house, okay, and he did not want to take the plate. He was pretending, and then Mahabodhisattva came. Now the same family, they were wondering about Mahabodhisattva to sell it, but the girl wanted to have a little bangle. This goes to Dinudha.
Hey, my sons. Oh, that man was so harsh, but this one looks nice and kind. Very likely he would take it. Call him in then. So he came into the house, and they gave him a seat and put the bowl into his hands. Seeing that the bowl was gold, he said, "Mother, this bowl is worth 100,000 pieces. I have no money to value this with me."
Many minutes. So, you know, the Mahabodhisattva was very kind and very honest, and he did not want to cheat the family. He did not want to take that golden plate without giving anything, but he says that he says the truth, right? And he says that this golden plate is worth 100. It's so very, very valuable. And then he did not have money for the golden plate, he says. And then, you know, this is in Sinhala we say Asat Purusha, we say ignorable person, and then that person is very harm and very dangerous. If we meet some so people who are not virtuous, people who are not honest, dishonest people, and then that was the danger of our life. Actually, that will be our uh, the default of our life, maybe when we practice the Buddha's teachings as well. And then this part is about the next of our story. We'll go to time Chamudi, but okay, Chamudi.
Sir, the first dealer said that it is not worth half a penny. He threw it to the ground and went away. It must be our own guardian Deva turned this bowl into gold. Take it, give us something or other for it, and go your way.
Okay, many merits. You know that old woman, that grandma, was very, very innocent, right? And she says that, oh, our guardian Deva turned this plate into gold. So she was happy about that. The gentleman says the truth. Okay, she was very happy. And then the story goes to the next part, and then let's see. This is for Senon.
Bodhisattva had only 500 pieces of money and the other goods for sale. The whole of this he gave to them, saying, "Let me keep my scales, my bag, and 8 pieces of money." And then he took these with him and departed with all speed to the riverside. He gave his 8 coins to the boatman and jumped into the boat.
Okay, very good. So why did he keep eight golden coins with him? Because he needed some money for his journey to go back, and he maybe the fare for the boat, fare for the cart, or something else. That's why he kept 8 golden coin for himself, and then they went back. He went back, and that was the story of our Mahabodhisattva. And then the part will be for the uh, Dehan. Okay.
Himeshwar Mahatsa. The greedy dealer had come back to the house and hadn't that asked them to bring out their bowl. He said he would give something or other for it, but the old woman said, "You said that our golden bowl, which is worth 100,000 pieces, was not worth a half penny. But there came an honest dealer who gave us 1,000 pieces for it and took the bowl away."
Okay. Okay. The woman says the truth. Okay. And then he had a very good gentleman, and he took the ball and he went away. She said to Devadatta, the person, the bad dealer. And then the story goes ahead. And then you know that the greedy dealer was very angry about this, and he was resentful. He stole my golden plate. And then the next part is goes to if I see someone else who has raised their hands. Okay, Sandish, if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry.
So he cried, "He robbed my golden bowl worth a full 100,000 pieces. He caused me a terrible loss, and powerful sorrow came upon him. so Dad has lost command over himself and worried. He threw away his money and goods at the door of the house, and armed with the beam of his scales as a weapon, he followed the Bodhisattva to the riverside.
Okay. 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 Very good. Thank you very much for your reading. And then you understand that he was very angry. You see the face. And then this part is for if you're happy to read this. If I read that name, Agnieszka. Agnieszka. How do you pronounce your name?
Agnieszka Bante,
Okay, you from?
from Poland.
Wow. Your chance to read.
Brahmapin Bante. Seeing the boat already crossing, he shouted to the boatman to put back, but the Bodhisattva told him not to do so. Watching the disappearing Bodhisattva, he was overwhelmed by a deep sorrow. His heart grew hot, blood gushed from his lips, and his heart cracked like the mud at the bottom of a tank that the sun has dried up.
Okay, so that man was very angry and then he threw up blood. And then he died. See the danger of anger, see the danger of resentment, and then the bad feeling, bad emotion. He died on the spot. So for his bad quality in his mind. But when he died, there was something very strange, very strong in his mind towards Mahabodhisattva. That was resentment. He said that I would come behind you whenever you are, wherever you go, I will come and I will take my revenge. Okay, that was very, very bad. And then our Mahabodhisattva. So you see that they are leaving our innocent Mahabodhisattva who did not do anything bad to the people. He was leaving with the golden plate. But that was something very, very terrible in the history of our Mahabodhisattva when he was coming. And then the last part of our story will go to okay, Rania, how do you read this? We'll see.
Through the hatred which had grown against the Bodhisattva, he suffered then and there. This was the first time Devadatta made a hatred against the Mahabodhisattva. The Bodhisattva, after that life spent in charity and other good works, passed away and appeared in heaven for his good merit.
Okay, very good, thank you. So you see that that was a bad incident. So when our Mahabodhisattva was born in the human world, Devadatta also was born in the same place. See, so when we have something bad in our mind, that goes to our samsara, that comes behind us. So when we leave from this world, that bad quality comes behind us, and then it will not do anything good. Okay, you understand that. And then even in the dispensation of the Supreme Buddha, this was very, very bad. And that man became, later on, he became a monk in the dispensation, Devadatta. And then he had done many, many bad things to the Supreme Buddha. And after he was again born in a very terrible hell. And then he is still suffering there. You see? So Asatpurusha, the bad person, does not do any good to our lives. That was the main message that we can learn from that beautiful story. And then, so we were talking about the birth of our Prince Siddhartha. When our Prince Siddhartha is born in the human world, there were another 7 things were born on the same time, on the same day, on Vesak full moon Poya day. You know the names of the other people and the things were born on the same day. And then this is that. If I share the screen, maybe you can read and understand. And then I want everyone to remember these amazing facts were born on the same day with our Mahabodhisattva, with the Prince Siddhartha. Fortunate ones. Remember, the first, so the first one is the fortunate ones born on the same day. The first one was Princess Yasodhara. You know about Princess Yasodhara. Princess Yasodhara was a close relative in the family, in the lineage, born to born to a sister of our Suddhodana king. Suddhodana king was the father of Prince Siddhartha, remember? And then she was born in the same clan called Yashodhara. She was the most beautiful woman ever in the world by that time, Princess Yasodhara. And then if I add something more about this story, Devadatta was born to becoming a brother of Princess Yasodhara. They were brothers and sisters, okay, Princess Yasodhara and Devadatta. See, so later on, Princess Yasodhara married to Prince Siddhartha, our Mahabodhisattva. See the close relationship, see the journey of a bad person. And then Princess Yasodhara was very qualified, fulfilling the good merits and wholesome activities during the samsara, to come to this world to become the wife of Prince Siddhartha and to become a nun in the dispensation and to become an arahant, bhikkhuni, arahant nun, and to release from this dangerous ocean of samsara. See, this is the samsara, this is the journey we all go. And then the second marvelous and amazing fortunate one was Channa. Channa was born to you remember, Channa was born to a minister's family in the king's palace, and then he was born on the same day when the Prince Siddhartha was born. And then Channa lived in the same palace of Prince Siddhartha. They lived together and they played and they had a very close friendship, and as well they had a very close understanding about the Okay, I was reading some messages. So Channa was born on the same day, and then if you remember, Channa was the one who helped our Mahabodhisattva to leave the king's palace with the straw-bed horse called Kantaka. And he had a very close relationship and a friendship. And then the third one who was born on the same day was Kaludai. Kaludai was born to a minister's family in the same kingdom. And then if you remember, Kaludai also was a minister in the same kingdom, same the palace. And then he wanted to become a monk later on, and he became Arahant as well. And he was the person, the Arahant Kaludai was the person who invited the Supreme Buddha to visit the family, the father, stepmother, and brothers and sisters. So remember the Kaludai, the Kaludai Bhante, Kaludai, the Venerable Arahant Bhante, who was the very loving person who invited the Supreme Buddha to visit his family. Okay, and you remember Princess Siddhartha, Princess Yasodhara became an Arahant nun. She was fortunate, and Channa also became an Arahant Bhante, and Kaludai also became an Arahant Bhante. And then the fourth one was Venerable Ananda Bhante. You know, Venerable Ananda Bhante was born on the same day when the Supreme Buddha was born. If you remember, Venerable Ananda Bhante was the the personal attendance for a long period of time of the Supreme Buddha's life, and he was like the shadow of our Supreme Buddha behind him, and wherever Supreme Buddha goes, Ananda Bhante comes back behind. And then he was the very supportive person in the Supreme Buddha's life. Okay, and then he was coming in the samsara, collecting and fulfilling his merits to become the personal attendant. And Ananda Bhante was foremost in actually 5 ways in the dispensation. He's a very meritorious and very venerable. If you remember, Ananda Bhante is called the treasury of Dhamma. And then he remembered, he kept everything in his mind. And then we are reading the Dhamma, we are learning the Dhamma because of our Venerable Ananda Bhante. He kept all the Dhamma in his mind. And later on, it was very supportive to the dispensation to talk about the Dhamma, to spread the Dhamma all over the world. So Venerable Ananda was a very, very special Arahant Bhante in our dispensation. And then the 5th one was not a human, he was an animal, Kantaka, the cerebral horse. And he is a very beautiful white horse, very long. And then the Kantaka was born on the same day, and Kantaka was the horse that the Mahabodhisattva, when he was leaving the king's palace, this horse was the person who took our Mahabodhisattva to the river Neranjara. And then river Anoma, right? And then the 6th one was the sacred Bodhi tree. Sacred Bodhi tree was born on the same day. It was like the Bodhi sapling of the Bodhi tree, very small, maybe with 2-3 leaves on it, appeared from the earth in India on the same place. The Vajras and the diamond sheet is placed in India. So in the same place, this Bodhi tree was coming from the earth. It was a very special occasion in the dispensation. On the same day when our Supreme Buddha, our Mahabodhisattva was born, actually this Bodhi tree was manifested in the world, especially for the Supreme Buddha, especially for the to give shadow to our Supreme Buddha when he becomes enlightened for the benefit of devas and humans. And then the 7th one was great 4 treasures. So when the Supreme, when our Prince Siddhartha was born, this world was very fortunate, and automatically there were huge, massive treasures with gold, with gems, with diamonds and all other precious things. It's a huge area. It's about 1 yojana. With, 1 yojana is about 10 kilometers or 12 kilometers, was the 4th treasury. And then it was a huge area filled with gold and everything. And then the third one was about 3/4 of yojana. And then the second one was a half yojana. And then the first one was a quarter yojana. It was very, very valuable and then worthwhile in the life of our supremely enlightened Buddha. This is the merit of the Prince Siddhartha. This is the merit of our Mahabodhisattva collected during the samsara. And then these are very, very interesting information you learn. And then actually I want you to remember this part in your life when we talk about about the life of our supremely enlightened Buddha.
Swami Vansa, we are very lucky because only the Bodhi tree is alive, which is in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's something very wonderful. Bodhi tree was born in India to give the shadow to our supremely enlightened Buddha when he gets enlightened. But unfortunately, that Bodhi tree is not alive today. We were very fortunate to have that Bodhi tree in our Sri Lanka, in Anuradhapura, and that was original, and that was very the same very Bodhi tree. That's a branch of that Bodhi tree. And then wherever you go, you see Bodhi trees. And then those are those are also very uh, respectable. Huh? In your monastery also we have Bodhi trees. In our monastery also we have Bodhi trees. If we go ahead about more information about our Supreme Buddha, so later on the Supreme Buddha was talking about himself, the appearance of the Supreme Buddha, and then this is a little I think a little profound, and then it's a little deep to understand. Anyways, Buddha explains about the manifestation of the Supreme Buddha in this way, and then this will go to an adult, maybe Arjuna, Linda, or someone else.
I'll summarize my answer. I will read.
Sure.
The marvelous appearance of the Buddha. Monks, there is one person arising in the world who is an extraordinary human being. Who is that one person? The Tathagata, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. This is that one person, monks, arising in the world who is an extraordinary human being.
Sadhu, sadhu. So the Buddha himself explained about himself, okay, about the Supreme Buddha. Only one person is born in this world for the benefit and happiness of all beings. That is the perfectly enlightened Buddha. He introduced himself. The Buddha introduced himself. Actually, he preached. He said about the Buddhaship to the monks to make their minds happy and then respectful towards the Supreme Buddha. And then we have more information about that also. And this goes to, if Avantadanu is there.
Monks, there is one person who arises in the world for the welfare of multitude, for the happiness of many people, out of compassion for the world, for the good welfare and happiness of devas and humans. Who is that one person? The Tathagata, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. Sad.
So again, the Buddha explains about himself, about the life of the Supreme Buddha. And then the next, I have one more part from that, not the same same sutta, it's a different sutta, explained well about the book. And then this goes to someone else, maybe an adult again. Okay, Arjuna?
Monks, there is one person arising in the world who is one of a kind, without a peer, without equal, incomparable, matchless, unlike to any other, unequal, equal only to other Buddhas, who are themselves unequaled, the foremost of humans. Who is that one person? The Tathagata, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu,
sadhu. Sadhu. So everyone, you want to remember the words of the Supreme Buddha. He explained about himself. See, he said, one of a kind and without a peer, which means he's not same to anyone else. He does not have a teacher, right? And then without equal, he's not equal to anyone. The Supreme Buddha is very pure, and then he is not equal to any human being. He is not equal to any devas, any brahmas, or anyone else in the entire universe. He is very, very special, and then incomparable. We cannot compare. The Buddha is like this person is like the Buddha. We cannot say that. We cannot see anybody else in this world equal to the Supreme Buddha. And matchless, you remember that, you know this word, unlike to any other, unequaled, equal to only other Buddhas. You know, the Buddhas are same to the other Buddhas. The qualities of the Buddhas are same, and then the knowledge uh, of the Buddhas are same, and then the wisdom is very same to the other Supreme Buddhas. That's why the Buddhas are same to the other Buddhas, only to the other Buddhas. And then he was unequaled, and then foremost of humans. This is the Tathagata, the Arahant, the supremely enlightened Buddha. So this was something the Buddha, Supreme Buddha, explained about the Supreme Buddha himself. Okay, and then this is the marvelous manifestation of the Prince Siddhartha, of our supremely enlightened Buddha in our world. And then on the same day, now you learned many things about our Supreme Buddha. There was something very interesting happened. So our supreme, you remember this Prince Siddhartha's father was King Suddhodana, and King Suddhodana's father was Singhahanu. Singhahanu. His father was also King Singhahanu. And then King Suddhodana's father, right? And then that king had a counselor in the kingdom, in the palace. And his name was Asita. What was the name of that counselor? Asita. Yeah, Kala Devala Asita. He was a very intelligent, very wise, very noble person, served for the king. And then after the death of that king, our Suddhodana's father, Singhahanu, King Singhahanu, after death of that king, this Asita did not want to stay, did not want to give his service to the kingdom, and he left the palace to the forest to become an ascetic. And then he became an ascetic, and he developed his mindfulness, and he meditated, and he developed the dhyanas, maybe the higher absorptions, and then he obtained psychic potencies as well. So he's a lay person. You know, still we did not have Buddhism in the world. The Buddha is not living in the world, still not. And then but this wise person meditating, he reached the higher mindfulness of his meditation. And then sometimes he comes to the royal park of the King Suddhodana. Now he's not a counselor anymore, right? And then sometimes he goes to Tavatimsa heavenly world to have a rest there, to have a very, maybe for a vacation, because he had psychic potencies. One day, maybe on the same day our Prince Siddhartha was born, this ascetic Asita was visiting Tavatimsa heavenly world to visit there, to maybe to see that, and to stay there for a while. And then on that day he saw something very new, very strange, very enlightening in the Tao things heavenly world. Everyone in the heavenly world, every heavenly being were very happy, singing, dancing, and then playing music. And then so they were singing the qualities of Supreme Buddha, and then they were very happy, very enlightened, very enjoyable, and then dancing and singing. Then Asita, the Kala Devala Asita, the ascetic, was very curious about this. What is the reason for their happiness? What are they singing? What are they doing there? So if you have visited our Sambuddha Rajamalika in Polgala, you might have seen this beautiful picture. So you see in the picture, joyous celebration in the Tao things heaven. What was this celebration? Celebration about the birth of our Prince Siddhartha. And they were very happy about this manifestation of Mahabodhisattva in the human world. Okay, You remember, they also invited Mahabodhisattva when he was in Tusita heaven, okay, from Tao Things heaven. They went there, invited the Bodhisattva. And then see the King Sakka and all the Brahmas. In white color, you see the Brahmas, and in the golden color, you see the, the, the King Sakka, and all the other heavenly beings were dancing like this. This is very beautiful. And then Asita, Kaladevala Asita was curious about this, and he questioned, and then all the heavenly beings came to him and let him know about the marvelous manifestation of our Mahabodhisattva. This Prince Siddhartha was born in the human world. That's why we are very happy. And then this Asita was very happy to come to this the king's palace to see this beautiful prince, Siddhartha. And he came. Okay, I will show this picture first. Okay, Asita worships the prince. Okay, so he worships the Prince Siddhartha. You see the picture, it's beautiful picture. And then when he saw that the beautiful prince with extraordinary body signs, he was amazed and he was surprised to see this beautiful prince. And then the King Suddhodana wanted this prince to worship this ascetic Asita. Huh? The Prince Siddhartha should worship the ascetic Asita. And he take the baby, the Prince Siddhartha, to the ascetic. Something marvelous happened. His lotus feet, the Prince Siddhartha's lotus feet, placed on the forehead, on the turban actually, of our the Kaladevala Asita's forehead. And then on the same day, on the same time, Kaladevala Asita was amazed and surprised, and he worshipped this Prince Siddhartha. And then looking at the Kaladevala Asita worshipping the Prince Siddhartha, King Suddhodana also worshipped the supreme, the prince. And all the other Sakyans also worship this Prince Siddhartha. And then Kaladevala Asita introduced this marvelous prince to the Sakyans like that. And then I need Tanuli and Tuini to read this to the audience.
He is the best of all beings, the foremost person, the noblest of men, the most meritorious one of all. He will turn the wheel of Dhamma in the deer park at Isipatana, roaring like a powerful lion, surpassing the sound of all other animals.
Very good. Many merits for reading. So the Kaladevala Asita said that this prince will become the Buddha, and he will turn the wheel of Dhamma rolling in motion, okay? And then he will become the foremost, giving the noble Dhamma to the humans and devas. And then that's how he introduced this prince to the people in the kingdom, people in the family. And then all the people were very happy about this prince. And then something happened again. So this the Kaladevala Asita started laughing out loud and then started crying out loud at the same time. First he laughed and then he cried. And then the King Suddhodana was very wondering about this laugh and cry, and then he questioned. And then Kaladevala Asita, the ascetic, said that I laughed that this prince will become the supreme Buddha in the human world. That's why I had that happy laugh in me. I am very happy that he will become the Buddha. And then I cried because I will not see that Buddha. I will not live longer to see the supreme Buddha. That's why I cried, he said. Okay, and then this Asita, the ascetic Asita, went home and give this message to grandson, I guess, and then to visit the Supreme Buddha. And then it was another story, very interesting. I can share that story in our next episode. And then if you have something to know more about this, the information I shared today, you can ask me. We have more 2-3 minutes.
Bante, I have a small doubt.
Yes.
Bante, in my house there's a small bow plant of the
Okay.
bow tree.
Yes.
What are the things should I do with that bow plant? How should I just offer some things? I don't know. How could I treat the bow tree?
Yeah. You do not want to touch the Bodhi tree, okay? That's why how we treat the Bodhi tree. That's very, very first thing that you should not do. You do not want to touch the Bodhi tree. But you can water the Bodhi tree. You can spray water to the Bodhi tree very gently. And then you can offer flowers. You can offer water, maybe water glass or water bowl or something in the maybe 2 times a day, maybe 1 time a day. And then maybe you can offer food or something to the Bodhi tree. Especially that should be placed in a very respectful place in the house, okay? And then you never want to cut the Bodhi tree, the roots, never cut it, okay? Never touch the Bodhi tree. And that's how we respect. And then if you pick up a leaf of a Bodhi tree on the ground, and then that should be buried very respectfully, okay? And then if you see a branch, dried branch on the Bodhi tree, you never want to break it from the branch, okay? And then you want to wait until it comes down, breaking itself, okay? And then you should respectfully bury that. That's how our Loku Swami Nohanse has given instructions to take care of the Bodhi tree.